You're very much welcome to this final stop. So I'm Professor Stephen Morrison. I'm in charge of Sustainable Livestock Systems branch, which is largely this Hillsborough site and parts of our Loch site and the research that goes on there. So what I'm going to do is just step through very quickly some of the take-home messages from the stops you've been at so far, and also leave a couple of questions with you. So at the very start, Professor McGowan just gave an overview of sustainability, and that's very much the broad, holistic view of sustainability. So we have to be economically viable, making profits throughout the supply chain. We also have to be environmentally conscious, protect that environment, and also societally conscious. What does society need and want from farming systems? But that obviously there's lots of challenges there, and we know of the challenges they've been outlined as we've went through. But as Elizabeth would have said, there's lots of opportunities, and there's a vision put in front of us for the farming for the future. The first main stop at the top of the hill in the sunshine there was Suzanne and Lisa giving us a real overview of the importance of healthy soils. You know, all our farming systems are built on our soil. So again, how do we get that right? What do we assess? And very much stressing the need to look at the physical, the chemical and the biological aspects of our soils and addressing any issues to create the healthy soil. And with that healthy soil, if we've got it right, we get swords that are very resilient, we get swords that are very productive, and we've got that sort of profitability element as well as the environmental element with the nutrients being used correctly by the sword. That stepped us through into David and Taro. I think it was David and Taro with you, I presume. At the top of the hill, looking at the grasslands that we have on the soil. So again, using the grass check data that comes out every week in the papers, we were able to look and see the volatility we're experiencing, and we know that, not one season's the same. They also then were able to use the world-leading models that they've developed over the years to then project out to 2100. Again, hard to think about 2100, we're nearly thinking about tomorrow more. But 2100, you can see a lot more grass in the shoulders, a lot more volatility throughout the season. So what does our grassland systems look like at that time period? How do we adapt and be ready for that? Because it's already on its way, it's already coming. And they probably left the question with you, or left you pondering the role of trees and silvopastoral and a whole other things in there. So again, left a lot of questions just for you to ponder over, the trade-offs, the considerations we have to do. Again, within that, David and Tara would have given an overview of some of the technologies we can use now on our farms to address some of the challenges. Things like our species mix in our swords, some of the technologies for measuring grass budgeting and wedging. That was all discussed and talked through. Then you would have stepped into Sam, just round the corner there, and Sam really give an overview of where the direction of travel is with genetic improvement. The tools are there, it's very well proven, very low cost. We start on a trajectory of improving the genetics of our herds and flocks. We're continually on that, we're continually improving, and it's cumulative and it adds up. Very well proven. And if you look at the indexes and the traits going forward, very much they're all targeted towards sustainability. If we have a very high productivity in terms of our animals, that generally links through sustainability. More and more new traits are coming in, looking at methane, looking at feed conversion efficiency, looking at nitrogen, looking at phosphorus. Loads of other traits are starting to come forward, but all very much linked to sustainability. So the question is just put up there, do you know the genetics in your herd or flock? Key question. Again, not always easy to do, but again, it's important to know our baselines, where you're starting from and the direction you want to go to in your herd or flock. So again, one to ponder and take home. Again, linking back to the same sort of message around knowing where you are, knowing where you want to go, targets. So again, both at the stops with David and Alan and also Francis, you talked about the targets, be it fertility, be it growth targets, and even back up at the soil, what does healthy soil look like? So what are the targets we're trying to achieve? Once you've got your targets, you then can set your direction and monitor your progress against that. Again, you don't generally go for a drive without knowing where you're going to go. Even if you're coming back home, you still need to know that that's your target. So again, next one up was really Francis, who really talked about the opportunity to look at our efficiencies and our productivity in terms of growth. And the importance of that. I used some of the Bovis data and I was able to show the variability that's coming through in our abattoirs, but also then looked at what the consequences could be if we can squeeze up that variability and get our animals to slaughter at a younger age. And again, that reduction in feed costs, very significant, but also the reductions in greenhouse gas costs as well. Again, if you follow that through, potentially less ammonia and also less phosphorus. So again, delivering on the environment and also delivering financially. He probably just touched on dietary methane inhibitors. Methane, obviously a big challenge. He probably talked about the green machine sitting over there, the shiny bit of equipment for measuring methane. And again, what we're doing here and with our colleagues in Queens, but also collectively across the globe, very much working hard on dietary methane inhibitors. These are things we can add into the diet that dramatically reduce the methane coming off the animals. And that methane obviously is a very potent greenhouse gas, but also is an energy loss to the animal system. So if we can redirect that energy back for the animal to use, it could give us performance benefits. Then in the slurry, the very last one, slurry management, Chris and John as a sort of a tag team. So John would have went through a number of incremental changes on your farm that can add up to make a major difference to your ammonia footprint on your farm. Things like LESI, things like how quickly you clean out tanks, extended grazing, nitrogen levels in diets, etc. Lots of things we can do when you add them together. And then obviously then Chris talked about how we can get more value out of our slurries and what the sort of vision could be when we look forward in terms of separation technologies and redistributing the nutrients in different ways around the farm. But throughout, the sort of strap line at the bottom here, it's very much about science-backed evidence, and that's exactly what AFBI is here for, to provide that independent scientific evidence to inform innovation, to inform policies, and provide those tools for yourselves to then develop those sustainable and resilient farms of the future. So that's the main summary. Hopefully I covered every stop reasonably well without going into it in too much depth. Just a few take-homes and a few questions for you to think about. What's going to happen next is the next question. So again, hopefully you're not overheating too much. It's a complete change to yesterday. Everyone was freezing cold and wanted to get moving on quickly. But again, what's going to happen next? Behind you here, you've got a whole range of different biomass crops, a whole range. You have willow, you have miscanthus, you have hemp, you have a whole heap of things in there. So you have the opportunity to, everyone will go around the corner, but you have the opportunity to then go for the tour over there at your own pace, or jump onto the transporters, hopefully the tractors, at least one tractor there, no, two, onto the back of the tractors, and they'll take you back up to what we call the focus areas. So the focus areas, again, completely at your own speed, stop wherever you want to stop, work your way through it. So effectively we're here at the minute, number 8 on the board. The transporters will drop you off up here, and you can work your way down through the focus areas, back to the marquee, and then back to the buses. This is what really an overview of what's at the focus areas. So first stop is up around the anaerobic digester and nutrient management. So that's slurries, management, emissions, AD, whole range of topics in there, and you can see some of the equipment and how it works. Focus area 2 is then soils, grass varieties, clovers, soil health scheme, agroforestry, a whole range of things is in one of the paddocks they've converted for that purpose. Focus area 3 is quite a big catch-all area, so health, genetics, and management of livestock. So the veterinary colleagues looking through some of the health challenges we face and what we can do about it. Genetics, breeding, nutrition, emissions coming off our farming systems, Bovis as tools to help you make decisions, and models. So a whole range of things up there. There's over 80 exhibits up in those areas. But again, it's very much your own pace. If you want, you could skip ones. If you want to stay longer in one, it's completely up to you. The last little plea would be, please give us your feedback on the event. So back up when you get up to that area, there'll be QR codes you can scan on your phone and you can give us your feedback. There's also people running around with iPads and they'll type it in for you and submit it, because these events are for you and very much for your benefit and to get the message across and let you know what we're doing here at Hillsborough and wider afield in AFBI. So again, give us your feedback. We can make better events and improve the events for you going forward. So for me to quickly sum up, thank you is the first thing for taking your time out. You're all incredibly busy, lots of jobs to do at home, I'm sure. So thank you for taking the time out to come to see what we're doing here in AFBI, hear about some of the latest science, hopefully pick up some things you can bring home to look at and innovate on your own farm to help deliver that sustainable and resilient farm of the future. So thank you very much open to any questions. Can do it on the mic, or if you want I can click that one off and have one-to-one questions, it's not a problem. So next up, literally you'll be going right round the corner. Say there's a transporter load just about to head off. The next transporter's probably already there, if not coming in a few seconds. But yeah, so if everyone's happy, we're just literally round the corner and move forward. Your guide will show you around the corner. So thank you very much. Thank you.